retail. Now, BigBasket and Amazon Pantry are just some of the online players which have slowly but surely managed to carve out a small space for themselves in this Indian grocery space as well. Innovative delivery solutions and discounts have only made it more competitive for all players in the market. Add to that, Avenue Supermarts saying that they had to resort to some bit of discounts in order to maintain the market share. So, how is Future Retail, which operates stores like Big Bazaar, KB FairPrice and Food Hall, coping with all of these new offers? Let's ask the company's Joint Managing Director Rakesh Biyani this question, not just for Future Retail but for the industry at large. Rakesh, so good having you. Thanks so much for joining in. Off the bat, are you seeing some stress in order to maintain market share and margins, or is it specific to specific players?
No, I think overall the market has sort of grown quite well. For us, the market share has increased. As per Nielsen data, we have seen a significant increase in a lot of markets in terms of the share of sales from our store. So that's quite encouraging. And I think the way one has approached it, for us also, we've been sort of, this April we rolled out harder than lowest price as a strategy, which is basically the everyday low price, and where we are guaranteeing that we would have the lowest price in the marketplace, and that's moving out very well. We've been sort of tracking our prices, and we're quite confident that we are able to match the lowest price or are actually lower than many other retailers across product categories. And I think the customer is recognizing that, so the share of sales out of our stores have been quite strong. But I think overall, anyway, the market has also sort of expanded. To say that the market is not expanding, it's not true. There's a lot of space for many more players. It's a very large market. A very small portion of that is organized today. So I think we're quite buoyant in terms of the way the market is likely to play out. And for us, our strategy to ensure the fact that we get a larger share of the market is to continue with the large format stores like Big Bazaar, and at the same time supplement them with a chain of Easy Day stores, which is also rapidly expanding, and we believe the fact that over the next 2 to 3 years we should be able to see a significant amount of expansion in that space.
Rakesh, good morning, Devina here. I mean, over the past decade, we've always seen that, the organized retail sector has an 8% holding versus the unorganized retail segment, which is about 92% of the market. Is that likely to change, according to you, anytime soon? And then if you add to the mix e-tailing and how, the likes of an Amazon Pantry are coming in to take the market share away, is that a significant threat?
See, I think when you look at the fact that, just about 6 years back, what is at 8% today was at 2%. So I'm assuming the fact that, that 8% number will soon become 10 and then 12. But in the near future, I see the fact that the number is likely to be between 15 and 20. And that's going to be coming out from a large share of the new stores, new expansion that will happen, or the expansion in the marketplace that will take place. Organized retail could get a larger share of that. And the size itself is too large. So, and when you look at the scale of business that each of us are doing, or the incumbent players or the new players are likely to do, there's space for everybody. It's not that Amazon will come in or anybody else comes in, replaces somebody else. I think it's just, taking in shares out of taking in shares out of the new market that is getting created. That's the larger theme here. And I think that the process is a bit slow, and which is fine, where the share of organized trade as a part of the total trade from 8, ultimately I would say the fact that 20 is a good number over the next decade, and that would make the organized retail industry a very, very large player from what it is today.
Rakesh, just to follow up to that, there's a Deloitte report which suggests that by 2021 there'll be 650 million internet users in India. I mean, obviously, when that statistics increases and the kind of offers and deals and the competitiveness within the e-commerce space in your particular area itself will likely mean that your general mode of shopping, which used to happen and that you say right now is your market, will sort of become less competitive. How will you tackle that?
I think it is unfair to think that the deals and the excitement is only in the online space. There is even far better deals, far better value, and of course there's a touch and feel. What you see is what you buy, and that's what goes with you to home in your shopping cart. That is what the offline offers. And there are many of these things which may be not necessarily easy to do in an online space. So I think it's a misunderstanding. Understanding itself is wrong, which says that the deals and the excitement only lies in the online space. Offline is as efficient, offline is as vibrant, and provides an outstanding experience for the consumer. And that's what, and at the end of the day, consumers want to touch, feel, and be sure about what is it that they are seeing, and that's exactly what they are taking back home. That necessarily does not happen only in the online space. Now, yes, in the online space, the advantages could be the fact that the assortment could be very large, the choice could be very large, but at times I think customer sort of doesn't want to see so many choices also, because it makes it that much more difficult to make a decision. So there are pluses and minuses. There are going to be customers who are going to be happy buying only online, and there are going to be a lot more customers who are going to be happy buying offline. And so there's market for all players, and that's what the rest of the world is showing. Despite online being there for about 20-25 years, retail stores have not shut down. Retail stores continue to be there and continue to grow in majority of the markets in the world. In the most advanced markets of the world, only 20% of the business is currently happening. On the outer limit, I would say, is 20% of the business is happening online. 80% of the business continues to be in an offline space, and I see India not being any different from any other parts of the world.
Okay, what's the current experience? This is how I started off my questioning with Rakesh. So if you look at two results that have come out thus far, and that's the benchmark that we have, Avenue Supermarts and Reliance Retail. Avenue Supermarts management highlighted price cuts undertaken across categories to ensure more value to customers. Now, I would read this as a sign of forsaking or foregoing some margins in order to maintain market share / sales / customers. Have you had to do the same as well? Is it an industry-wide phenomenon, or is it specific to one company?
I think, for us, when you look at our concept, specifically, let's look at a Big Bazaar. Big Bazaar is truly a multi-category retailer. There's a great balance between the grocery and the non-grocery categories. We have a very large share of sales out of fashion and home products, and an equal share of sales coming out of grocery. So for us, the basket is extremely well managed, and and our margins have continued to be quite strong. We still are using centralized distribution. We have built a lot of private brands, and combine all of these efforts, we are able to deliver a lot more efficiencies as we keep moving forward. GST was a key enabler to build towards efficiency, and I think that work is still on. So while we're very competitive in the market space, we are guaranteeing that on the groceries, the prices at Big Bazaar are the lowest. Consumers are assured of it through our FuturePay app, where you can sort of do a price match. And if there is any place where we are not competing, we are paying back the difference to the customer. So that's the kind of assurance model we have been doing, and all of that is reflected in the margin model that has got delivered, which is becoming actually a quite healthier and healthier margin model.
All right. Just one last question before we let you go, Ms. Biyani. Regarding some reports of Amazon being interested in picking up stake in Future Retail. If you can give us your take on this.
See, I think we are a large retailer. There are a lot of players in the marketplace. There's always very interesting discussions that keep happening around one specific area which one is seeing emerging across the rest of the world, where there is a convergence which is taking place between an online and offline retailers. and that's an interesting space that's of interest to us also. So rest, I would say the fact that as and when if there is something which is provides a strategic better value to our stakeholders, we will definitely be going back to our board with the proposition and seek an approval to
has there been any initial interest as well, just from Amazon? If you could just put that into perspective.
So as I said, it's a very interesting space today, and it's not only in India but across the world that's happening, and that's something which is keeping us interested also. We also want to sort of keep evaluating what the proposition can get created, and if we do believe that it's going to add value to our stakeholders, we will definitely go back with a proposition to our board.
Do you see something like this, not necessarily Amazon, Rakesh, just one last question really, but do you see a tie-up of this nature? I mean, the exact modalities may be completely different, it may not happen as well, but do you see a type of this nature adding value to a player like you?
As I said, this is something which seems to be happening across the world, which is the convergence of offline and online. And in other words, it was also known as omni-channel play. So it's a new industry. There are a lot of new developments which are happening. We are sort of tracking exactly what's happening in many other parts of the world, how the business models are converging, what are the value that they bring, and we are very keen to serve the Indian customers. We definitely need to be relevant to the Indian customers at all the time, and thus we are evaluating all kinds of options which says as to what would be the next set of retail models that will keep our concepts more relevant in the long run, and that's one direction that we will always be focused on.